Welcome, everyone, to a yoga class called Yoga and How to Modify. So, today I wanted to show you how you can modify using chairs to both sit on if getting down to the floor is difficult, but also we'll be using them as a prop in order to help us get into some poses with a little support. And for me, that helps me feel safer and that helps me come to the full expression of how I can interpret the pose and make my body work. So, all part of making yoga your own, right? So, from a seated position, often our feet don't really ground on the floor with the hips all the way back to the back of the chair as they should be. So it's really nice to have a set of blocks to place underneath the feet. And just bring your legs into a 90-degree angle with the knees bent, heels right under knees, just like they'll be when we're standing. So right now I'm sitting up nice and tall, but let's go ahead and relax our spine against the back of the chair, perhaps interlacing the fingers in our lap or leaving them on our thighs or dangling them. Anywhere you want to place them is fine, as long as you can really relax your body and be comfortable. Let's close down our eyes. And let's bring our lips together and begin to breathe in and out of our nose. If that's not comfortable, feel free to breathe in whatever way is working for you today. Notice your body kind of settling in the chair a little more. Perhaps you're pressing into your sits bones, letting the tissues release and relax more and more. And we'll begin our pranayama practice, our breath work, just a little bit of a period of time, a few breaths where we'll manipulate and control the breath. Today we'll do ujjayi or victory breath. And in this breath, we actually use one of our bandhas, the one at the throat, the voice box, and we'll constrict this passageway, make it more narrow. It's going to make a little bit of a sound inside of our heads, kind of like Darth Vader. So begin as you're ready on the next inhale and see if you can keep that bandha engaged, that little tightening going on there for a few breaths, 7 to 10 of them here. Notice how the vibration kind of lulls the body into a state where you're becoming less aware of what's going on outside your body and more aware of the internal environment. And as you're ready, releasing Ujjayi breath and letting the body come back to its own ebb and flow. On your next exhale, draw your chin towards your chest. Let the crown of your head release towards your lap, towards your knees. Back is still relaxed against the chair here. Elbows down at your sides, shoulders back and down behind you. And then on the next inhale, let's sit straight up without moving the head. We'll come onto our sits bones, just pulling the back slightly away from the chair, enough to bring the spine into a neutral position. Let's inhale to lift our focus back up in front of us, and let's move the head to the right and to the left. Just at your own pace, keep going right and left. We'll come back to center. Let's bring one ear to one shoulder. Let's release the arms down by your sides, whether you're in a chair or seated on a mat. Inhale to lift the head back to center. Exhale, drop the opposite ear. Take a breath or two again here. Arms relaxing by your side. We'll come back to center. This time, as we move the ear to the left shoulder, let's extend the right hand just a little ways above the floor or out to the side if we're seated in a chair. We'll come back to center, arm and head, and relax to the opposite side, extending, reaching the fingers and the hand out here before coming back to center. Let's now begin to move our spine into cat-cow movements. Let's bring our hands to our knees or to our thighs, and let's begin to rock the pelvis back and forth. We can move the head, we can start to round the shoulders. You'll find that the back of the chair might be in your way. So the next time you bring your spine to neutral, let's walk our feet and hips a little ways forward, moving the blocks out of the way. My sits bones are in the middle of the chair now, and I'm sitting up nice and tall. Feet are square directly on the floor. And let's continue rounding the spine, dropping the head, tucking the tail, and then lifting the head, moving the shoulders, opening the chest, arching the back behind you. And we'll go back and forth here. I'm not lifting my arms, but if you wanted to lift your arms, you could. You could even draw them back behind you as you open your chest and let them come together toward one another as you round your spine. We'll bring our spine now to neutral, and let's work on a seated sun salutation flow next. So sitting still in the center of your chair, up nice and tall on the sits bones, feet, square on the floor, all four corners pressing in. Let's bring our arms by our side. We'll inhale, lifting the arms out and up or forward and up. Bring the hands together at the top of the inhale, exhale, hands to the heart. From here, we'll inhale, arms up into a V. Exhale, cactus arms. Inhale, cow, arms come back. Exhale, cat, chin tucks, hands come together. Inhale, bring your spine to neutral. Hands come apart, palms face one another. Exhale, come into a forward fold. Take a breath here. Make sure you're pressing into your feet to keep your hips upright on the chair. We'll inhale, we'll come back to neutral, sitting straight up and down, arms out, palms facing one another. Exhale, we'll bring the right arm down and back, flipping the palm in a twist. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, twist opposite side. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, grab the left knee, move it into the chest as much as possible. Inhale, releasing. Exhale, right knee comes into chest. Inhale, arms go in a V as you lower that right knee. Exhale, hands come to the heart. Let's do that 2 more times, relaxing releasing the arms down by your sides. Inhale the arms up. With a sun breath, exhale, palms come together, hands come to Anjali Mudra at the heart. Inhale, arms come up into a V. Exhale, cactus hands, palms forward. Inhale, straighten the elbows, lift the chin, arch the back. Exhale, tuck the chin, round the shoulders and spine, palms come together. Inhale, sit back up nice and tall in the sits bones, palms facing toward one another. From here, exhale into a forward fold. Take a breath here. Inhale, come halfway up. We'll add a step. Hands come to legs somewhere. Exhale, fold forward in the fold again. Inhale, come up to neutral, pressing down through the feet, lifting up through the torso and head, arms shoulder height, palms facing in. Exhale, we'll come into a twist to the right. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, twist to the left. Inhale, back to front. Exhale, left knee into chest. Inhale, release. Exhale, right knee into chest. Inhale, release, lift the arms into a V. Exhale, hands come to the heart. Let's do that one last time. Inhale, the arms up. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, arms into a V. Exhale, hands come to cactus arms. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Inhale, neutral, center. Exhale, twist. Oops. Inhale, back to center. I forgot the forward fold. Exhale, twist. Opposite. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, forward fold. We're really shaking it up this time. Inhale, come halfway up. Exhale, fold into your forward again. Inhale, come back to neutral, seated up, palms in. Exhale, left knee into chest. Inhale, neutral. Exhale, right knee into chest. Inhale, neutral, arms in a V. Exhale, hands to your heart. All right, let's press into the feet, all four corners. Begin to fold forward just a bit, then let the crown of your head lift as you press into your feet, straightening your knees, coming up to standing. At this point, we'll use our chair as a prop. And I'll set us up for a nice high lunge here. So facing the chair, I'll move it a little bit to give myself some room. I'm going to stand to one side. I'm going to pick the foot up closest to the back. And I'm going to use the upper part of my body to help me walk or hop or scooch the left leg or whatever leg you have back behind you here, back there to come into a lunge. Release the hips forward and down and feel the stretch in the body. Perhaps you need one block. You can place it on the chair with the foot, placing the hand into the block, provided you feel stable doing so. Taking a breath here. Let's now begin to shift the back leg, the weight in the back leg. Lower the heel. We'll lift the forward toes, pressing the heel into the floor, keeping that heel grounded or into the seat here, lengthening the hamstring, using the chair as our prop for support, perhaps keeping the upper body lifted, finding that extension through the top half with the support of your props. Let's sink back forward again. Feel that chair lunge here, that nice bit of stretching for both legs here. And we'll switch now to the opposite side. You can come around to the other side of your chair and we'll step opposite foot forward, hopping whatever leg didn't stretch back behind you before. And we're sinking our hips forward and down, using the chair as our prop to help us hold ourselves up and stay stable. We'll begin to lower that back heel as we lift our front toes off the chair or floor, pressing into the heel, straightening the knee as much as feels good, getting that nice hamstring stretch. Keeping the upper body lifted. Again, using your prop, maybe making some adjustments to keep your center of gravity over the prop you're using so that it is a support and not a strain. We'll sink the hips forward in finding our chair lunge one more time here. And then pressing into that front leg, holding on, we'll remove the foot and come back up to a standing position. We'll use the chair as a prop seated next. We're going to find a warrior two seated position. So standing in front of your chair, step the right foot out to the side, toes pointing towards the small edge of the mat. We'll sit down at this point, and at this time, you can sort of wiggle one hip off the front edge of the chair. Excuse me. And we'll release or stretch back this leg. I have to move my book here, which I'll need at the end. And let's come into warrior two or hero two legs. So we want right knee to be open, left leg to be lengthened, stretching back behind us. Hero one, keeping your hands and arms down, maybe holding on to the chair here, the bottom, the back, lifting the arms into hero two position. Let's go ahead and reverse that hero. Lowering the back arm, lifting the front arm, rotating the wrist to face back behind us. The palm faces back behind us, lifting the fingers to the ceiling. Let's come into extended side angle even. Lowering that right hand and arm as you bend the elbow. Left arm reaches out and up away from that leg and lands wherever you can reach. We'll release from there and let's come back onto the center of the chair, walking, shifting, moving our legs together. And this time we'll go to the opposite side. I find it helpful to move both knees that direction. Keep this foot here. First, bring the opposite knee down and then stretch that leg back, turning the foot, pointing the right toes now towards your device. Left knee is out towards the smaller toes here. You're holding on with your upper part of your body facing the diagonal. Inhaling, lifting the arms. Taking a few breaths here, pressing into that back foot as much as possible into the floor, pressing into this front foot. Perhaps you're doing Hero 2 here without a chair. That's fine too. Making yoga your own. Let's come into reverse Hero. Back arm lowers, front arm lifts on the inhale. Exhale, arms windmill, upper body comes forward and down. Right arm lifts up and over any amount. And then inhale, lifting the upper body, pressing through that forward foot, right? That left leg. We'll come back to the center. And let's come back up to standing. Find your mountain pose next to your chair. Standing up nice and tall, perhaps holding on to a table, another prop in your house, whatever works. We're going to turn now toward the chair. We'll reach our hands down to either the seat or to a couple of blocks. We want our wrists to be about shoulder distance apart. Inhale, sweep up and back your right foot. Maybe release one hand out wide like a wing, or keep both right under you. And exhale to lower that leg. Come back to your kind of half mountain here, almost like table pose. Press into the foot you just lifted now and lift the opposite foot on an inhale, up and back. Find your Hero 3 on this side. There's a small micro bend in the standing leg. And as you're ready, release. Let's come into a forward fold over the chair. So walk your feet as close to the chair as you need. Release your upper body forward and down, propping yourself up with your elbows and forearms. Feel your spine start to relax in between, with the structure of the upper and lower body holding up the hips. Take one more breath here. And then on the next inhale, excuse me, lift your body up away from the chair and find your mountain pose again. We're going to come into Hero 1. We're standing on one end of our mat, and let's lift the foot that is farthest away from the back of the chair. And let's hop the opposite foot back, turning the toes to a diagonal. Hips are facing forward. Stack your shoulders on top of your hips. Shoulders and hips kind of halfway in between each leg here. And then if you'd like, lift your arms up over your head. Maybe lift your chin, open your chest. Try to send your thumb tips back behind you. Exhale, releasing your arms. And we can press into this foot to be able to lift it up and place it back on the floor. Let's switch sides. Opposite knee comes up. We want to orient the back toes to a diagonal with the hips still staying forward. And we're going to lean the hips just a tad bit forward so that we can feel some tightness in the left hip this time and thigh. Keeping ourselves stacked, evenly distributing the weight front and back leg. Let's inhale the arms up again. Maybe you're holding on to a wall here or the back of the chair. Maybe your arms are both at your side. You're keeping your center of gravity low. And then let's release the hands, come down. We can orient our hips as we need to step the forward foot back. And let's move into a standing, modified sun salutation. So come up towards the top of your mat, find your mountain pose. Let the next inhale lift your arms out and up overhead, palms come together. Exhale, nose dive forward fold, bend your knees, and elbows deeply, and let your head rotate forward and down into a forward fold. Inhale, come up halfway. Exhale, release into the forward fold again. Plant your palms, step your left foot back. Let the knee float down to the floor, flatten that back foot. Using blocks, we can press up away from the floor. Letting the chest peel up and away from the forward thigh. Inhale, lifts one arm, both arms, neither. Exhale, hands release back down. We'll plant the palms. We're going to come into half plank by reaching the hips towards that back heel enough to draw the right knee back. Go from table to sinking the hips slightly forward. You want to make a plank of wood out of your head, your torso, and the upper part of your legs. Your arms are holding you up here. Take one more breath in your half plank and then move, adjust your body so you can release your belly to the floor. So take your time getting there. When our chest is on the floor, let's reach both hands forward, coming into Sphinx pose. Forearms and palms pressing into the mat. Shoulders equal distance like the elbows. So elbows kind of left and right, right under the shoulders, but a little forward. Exhale to release back down on the floor. Elbows come out, hands move right by the chest. Keep your elbows in, peel the body up off the floor, lift the hips coming into table. This time we bring the left foot forward. We'll grab our blocks again to peel on an inhale, lifting our chest up off of that forward thigh. Another inhale helps us lift one or both arms. Exhale, we'll release the hand or hands. We're now leaning forward. We want to tuck under those right toes, lift that right knee off the ground, or come into a forward fold in whatever way works for your body. If that doesn't work, come into a standing position. We'll inhale, pressing down through the feet, lifting up through the torso, arms come out and up overhead, and we'll exhale, hands to the heart. Okay. One more sun salutation. All right. Inhaling the arms out and up. Exhaling, nose dive forward fold, arms and knees bend. We release the head. Maybe we're using the blocks here to help us. Maybe we're using a chair, the seat of a chair. Letting the arms and head hang and be heavy. Inhale, come halfway up, hands to knees or shins. Exhale, release, plant the hands. This time we step the right foot back. We're going to let that right knee float all the way down to the floor, flatten that right foot. Use our blocks as we inhale to press down and lift up, peeling the chest away from the thigh. Inhale, one or both arms up over the head. Take a breath here. Exhale, release the hands. They float down. We'll place them on blocks or on the mat. We'll draw that left foot knee back, coming into half plank. We want our shoulders to be over our wrists. We want our hips to be sunk so that our body is a plank from our knees to the crown of the head. As you exhale, slowly lower your upper body to the floor. We'll reach each hand and arm forward, finding our sphinx where our back is gently arching. We can adjust how far away our elbows are from our shoulders, lessening the arch, taking care of our back, but still getting an arch. Each of us starting where we are. On the next exhale, release your head, neck, and shoulders. Elbows come back, hands placed just on either side of the chest. From here, we'll press up into table. From here, we'll draw the right foot forward, sinking the hips, coming into that low lunge on this side. Inhaling off of blocks, peeling ourselves up. Becoming more lifted here, inhaling one or both arms. Feeling the stretch from hips to hands. Exhale, releasing forward again, tucking under the left toes, lifting that left knee, stepping as many times as it takes that left foot forward, bringing it up next to the right in a forward fold. Inhaling, coming halfway up. Exhaling, releasing. Inhaling, pressing down through the feet, lifting arms and hands as the head, torso comes up to standing. Exhale, hands release to Anjali Mudra at the heart. Take a moment here to breathe and to, excuse me, kind of check in with how the body feels with these modifications. Let's face the long edge of the mat and we'll walk our feet out wide, coming into wide angle. Pressing down through both feet, keeping them in alignment front to back, parallel side to side. We'll inhale, lifting our arms out and up overhead. Exhale, we'll do a nosedive forward fold again. We can keep the arms straight and just bend the knees or bend arms and knees, releasing the head as much as we can towards the floor. Keep your left hand there. Place your palm right under the head. Lengthen up through that arm, through your torso, so that you're really pressing into the feet more here too. Lift that right arm, and on the next inhale, lift that right arm and hand up, out, and back. Keeping your hips in the center between right and left foot. Exhale, releasing that right hand. Right palm takes the place of the left. Inhale, left arm swoops out and up. The back of the hand draws back behind you. Exhale, releasing the hands. Bend deep through the knees. Press into the feet. Inhale, come halfway up. Hands on legs. Exhale, release into this wide angled forward fold again. Maybe using blocks to help you support yourself here. Let the next inhale lift you back up to standing. Arms and hands at your side. We'll walk our feet together, heel toe, or stepping the feet closer and closer together, coming back into our mountain pose. Keep your right knee the standing leg, bend through the left knee, lift that left heel, and we'll touch the toes and then lift the toes. Any amount, you could stay close to the floor. We'll point the toes down, maybe lift them a little more or not. Stork legs, let's add our arms, elbows below shoulders, wrists above. We'll point our fingers and thumbs down right in front. So we're bending our wrist, getting that nice stretch in the arms. Balancing on one leg here. Knee any height all the way up to hip height. And then releasing, coming into tree as you release. That left knee goes out to the side. The foot points out to the side toward the short edge of the mat. And you can keep your legs spaced apart. Bring the left leg and foot in. Stand one-legged. Maybe use the prop of the chair. Inhale, lifting one or both arms, growing your branches, perhaps just staying at the heart, keeping things low today. Better for high blood pressure and low blood pressure, I think, to keep the arms low. Release slowly from tree, and we'll come into palm tree by inhaling, lifting the arms up overhead, walking to one end of the mat on our tiptoes, then to the opposite end of the mat and back to the middle. Stretching the whole body, full body stretch here, and then releasing the arms down by your side, still facing the long edge of the mat. Walking the feet out wide. We'll come into that wide angle pose again, pressing into all four corners. Relaxing the arms down by your sides. Let's inhale, arms come out and up. In the sun breath, exhale, nose dive, wide angle, forward fold. Hands come to blocks or to the floor. Releasing the crown of the head to the floor. Keeping the left hand where it is, pressing into the floor. Inhale, lift the right arm out and up. Swooping it. Exhale, swoop it down. Right hand replaces left. Inhale, reaching the left arm up and back. Exhale, swoop it down. Inhale, come halfway up. Maybe using blocks here for support. Feeling the extension between the tailbone and the crown of the head. Exhale, release into the forward fold again. Surrender the upper body over the lower body. Pressing down through both feet now. Inhale, lift up away from the floor, flat back. Arms can come out and up overhead, and then we'll exhale. Hands come to the heart in Anjali Mudra. Releasing the arms down by your side. Let's walk the feet together, or heel toe, heel toe. This time, left leg is the standing leg, and we bend the right knee. We'll start to toe tap on the right side. Finding our balance, perhaps adjusting the way the standing leg foot is oriented, pointing the toes of the lifted knee down, adding stork arms to your legs, and feeling the height from the standing foot up through the crown of the head. Nice. Releasing on the next exhale, arms and legs slowly release. Keep that right knee bent. We'll move the right knee out to the side. Find our tree here. Wherever your tree might be, you can toe tap here. Take turns lifting and lowering the toes as you need. Inhale to lift your arms up over your head. Finding your branches, growing them in spring. Slowly bringing arms and leg down. Let's now come into a full body stretch, palm tree coming up onto tiptoes, walking to each end of the mat and back together. Your hands can be together or apart. Back to the center. And then release the arms out and down by your side. We're going to move from our standing position to the floor. And we will come to a seated position through and come down to the mat into supine through boat. So sitting up nice and tall on the sits bones, legs are out in front of us, knees are bent, feet are on the floor. Hold on to the legs, sitting up nice and tall. Let your chin relax parallel to the floor as you stretch the crown of your head to the sky. Let's reach forward with this extension, maybe even using our arms and hands to reach forward until we can walk most of our arms in front of our knees, if that makes sense, and kind of catch the arms on the knees. Now begin to dip the chin towards the chest. I'm repeating a lot of poses next week to help you work on these same target areas. We'll inhale now to lift the chin up away from the chest. We bring it into a neutral position. We'll engage our core, lift our head, neck, and shoulders away from our legs. Now we'll lean back slightly, find that little ledge that we can use the hip bones to settle into. We'll hold the space behind our legs or knees. And then let's lift the left foot, pressing through the heel. Keeping the knee strong, lifting the heel any amount away from the floor. Exhale to lower that foot, and inhale to lift through the right heel, pressing through that heel here. Exhale to lower. You can inhale to lift one and then the other, or you can inhale to lift both. Pressing through the heels, keeping the legs active, holding on here or letting go, letting the core work here. We'll slowly lower ourselves down towards the mat, straightening the knees and lowering the head, neck, and chest until we're supine on the floor. Get comfortable there for just a moment, this supine corpse position. And now let's bend up through each knee. We'll draw our arms alongside our body, palms are facing down. We'll come into bridge. There's nothing under our heads, by the way. No folded up blanket or towel. Inhale, lift your hips up away from the floor. Exhale, lower the hips. Inhale, press down through each corner of your feet, your arms, your forearms, rather your hands. And then exhale, slowly lower your hips, your spine, coming at a straight, neutral position. As we inhale, let's lift. And as we exhale, let's lower. Inhale to lift. Exhale to lower. One more time. Inhale to lift. We'll take a breath here, holding ourselves up, maybe pressing into the feet to lift the hips a little higher. And then with the next exhale, slowly lowering the hips down to the floor. Let's bring our knees into our chest here. A delicious counter pose, wrapping the arms around the legs, drawing the knees in, maybe using a strap here if needed. And then let's begin to rock from side to side, giving the back of the head and the spine a nice massage. Come back to center. We'll lift the feet towards the sky, straightening the knees as much as we can, and then begin a yoga walk. It's almost like you're bicycling with the lower part of your body, or you're walking on the ceiling, heel to toe, as that knee straightens and then bends as you draw your legs and feet around and around. Release as you're ready and come into butterfly, bringing both feet together, knees out to the side, resting the outside edges of your feet on the floor, reclining here, perhaps using a block under each knee in butterfly pose here. Maybe adjusting your heel farther away from your hips to let the legs relax more deeply and open. Take a few breaths here, really slowing down the class now. Letting the pace reflect our bodies wanting to rest more. On the next inhale, we'll draw our knees together. High stretch. We'll bring our feet to the floor. And from here, let's come into half happy baby. So draw one of your knees towards the chest and then begin to lift the foot so that the heel comes up above that knee. Let your hands both hold on to the lower part of the leg, the ankle, the foot. You're really trying to drive your knee to the side of your body by your armpit, if that makes sense. Try to keep pressing into the foot on the floor to keep your body centered. And then release, half happy baby. Let the right foot float down to the floor, and this time we'll lift the left foot up, bringing the heel above the knee, sinking the knee at our side, opening the hip, holding on somewhere to this leg. We'll let our feet, this foot rather, float to the floor. And let's begin windshield wipers. And actually, student choice, you can come into whatever pose or movement or stillness you'd like to find. Taking a few minutes to go where your body's calling you to go. Take 2 to 3 more breaths here. And then find a comfortable position, lying down on the floor, sitting up if you prefer not to lie down. Maybe you've been on your bed this whole time or on a chair, modifying poses. The idea is to be in a comfortable position, allowing the body to release the tension. And we'll complete a breathing meditation with our final Shavasana. Our breath is constantly rising and falling, ebbing and flowing, entering and leaving our bodies. As we breathe, we can recognize the extraordinary symphony of both the powerful and the more subtle movements, massaging our internal organs, toning and releasing lots of muscles in the body. Our breath is a full participation with life. In order to be able to compare and appreciate changes that may occur both during and after this breathing exercise, it's important to take a few moments first to gauge the initial quality of your breathing. We can call these observations of our breathing check-ins, and they can be used not only before doing a breathing inquiry, but throughout your day as a way of gauging your physical and psychological state off the mat. Generally, when people start to observe their breath, they immediately change it. And because of this tendency in the beginning, let your check-ins be brief. A general impression suffices, and we need not collect a library of details during these check-ins. We get a general impression of our breathing, and so let's do that now. Let's take a moment to sit and sense your breathing. As you ask yourself the following questions, wait for your reactions to come through. Where do I feel my breathing. As you inhale and exhale, can you feel where the movement of your breath starts? At first, you may think that you feel nothing, but as you return to this question, you may find that your breathing feels deeper, fuller, and maybe even less effortful. Let whatever perceptions you're having come through without editing or analyzing them. Don't discount any small movements or seemingly insignificant perceptions. It's all significant. Do you feel particular areas of your body where the breath is more noticeable? Around your abdomen, your chest, your nostrils? How about throughout your rib cage? Do you notice your breathing around your shoulders or your breastbone? Now let's explore, what does my breathing feel like? What is the quality of your breathing? Is it rough, labored, jerky, rhythmic? Does it feel smooth or slightly mechanical? Take note of whatever words or images arise. Relaxing your hands as you exhale. Curl your fingers into a loose fist with the thumb. And as you inhale, release. Exhaling, there's just a small movement in the fingers and thumb. And then unfold. Continue for a few minutes in this way, rhythmically folding and unfolding the hands. Noticing any relationship or the relationship between the movement of your hands and how you're inhaling and exhaling. Now, please bring your hands to stillness and begin to rock your head from left to right, slowly moving the chin back and forth, stretching the neck and the throat. We'll bring the chin back to center and let's roll over onto one side now, stacking hips and shoulders before pressing with the top hand, lifting ourselves up and away from the mat by pressing down, coming up into a comfortable seated position. releasing and relaxing our arms by our sides here. We'll inhale a sun breath, lifting the arms and hands out and up. Palms come together. Exhale, hands come down to heart. We can close down our eyes, and on the next exhale, lower our chin towards our chest as we bow to the divine within us. The light in me honors the light in each of you. On the next inhale, we'll lift our chin back to center. We'll flutter open our eyes, releasing our hands. And thank you so much for joining me in a yoga class where we modify for different abilities and outcomes that we want out of our yoga practice. Being able to do things in a stable, safe way, honoring our bodies. Take care and see you next time.